I thought I would just jump on and have a little conversation around patterns. And because the people that we work with, Tiff and I, we call them pattern breakers. They're the people that are serious about making the unconscious conscious so that it doesn't direct their life and they don't think it's just fate. Because that's literally what we do, right? We live in this world that has largely been constructed from everything we've ever experienced as kids and growing up. And we learn how to behave a certain way in order to secure our safety, or that we feel like we belong, or that we'll be loved. And when we're kids, as little kids, we go through things and we learn how to emotionally abandon ourselves in order to keep the people around us happy, right? So as we go into a state of emotionally abandoning ourselves, we literally have to stuff our own feelings down deep inside. And that sucks. But that's what happens. That's where we are. And when we do that, when we start really stuffing our own feelings down inside and not feeling them because it's not safe for us to, or we have to attune to that parent or this person in order to keep them happy, then it develops a pattern, and the pattern that it develops will look like perfectionism or people pleasing, or you find yourself overgiving, being hypervigilant, where you just have your eye on the lay of the land. You're paying attention to everything that's going on, and you're adjusting yourself. The problem that we have when we go into emotional abandonment, or even just looking at hypervigilance, always being so careful to do everything just right, it fucks our nervous system up. It puts us into a state of dysregulation, or you could call it overwhelm. You feel anxious. You have a really hard time being present or being connected. And there are so many patterns. We have many, many patterns. Our patterns are part of our nervous system architecture, right? So other patterns, self-sabotage, scarcity mindset, imposter syndrome, being a workaholic, overworking, not taking time to rest, not feeling your feelings, comparing yourself, shape-shifting to keep everyone around you happy and comfortable. And I want you to know, if you see some of these things that I'm saying and you see it in yourself, you are not broken. You are patterned. You're not broken. This was a safety mechanism that you learned as a kid using child logic, that you believed that if I am super vigilant to make sure everyone around me is okay and do whatever they need with no thought of what I need, then I will feel like I belong and that I'm safe and that I'm loved. The problem is it never gives us what we think it will for decades. I'm 57. Still breaking patterns. And it is shocking to me the impact that it's had over a lifetime of being hypervigilant. Definitely one of the patterns that I had to look at. No question. Being a perfectionist, absolutely. I thought that if I could just do everything right, that then people would love me. The problem is, it doesn't work, because you're being tossed around on an ocean of many different ideas of what, dealing with more than one person. You're being tossed around trying to do everything perfectly. Hi, Victoria Verkirk. Oh my God. So that's the big work, right? And it really comes down to making the unconscious conscious, because these things are running unconsciously. And the very first step when I do a pattern breakthrough is 12 steps. The very first step is the question, what are you doing or not doing repeatedly that's causing friction in your life? So think about it. Like what, and that's the first step into getting conscious, is that question. We actually have to stop and think, what is it that I keep doing? What do I keep experiencing? What do I keep finding myself in? Where do I find myself in the same frustration with myself over and over? And something that's really important about this is that you're willing to actually consider something that you've been doing that's happening. One of the big issues that I have when I'm doing pattern breakthroughs with people is that they think about what's happening to them. But to do a pattern breakthrough, it has to be something you are doing or not doing. It's a way you're behaving. This is some body architecture, right? This is built into our nervous system, and it hooks back to a time when you were a kid and something bad happened. Something that scared you deeply or hurt you deeply or wounded you or made you feel very, very, very overwhelmed. And in that moment, there was a decision that was made by you, a decision that you made as a kid using kid logic that helped you feel that it would keep you safe if you became more vigilant. Like, I've got to always pay attention to everyone around me in order to be safe, to not be hurt. And then you live a life with a nervous system so dysregulated because you're pushing so incredibly hard all the time. And you're so focused on, in hypervigilance, this one specifically, this pattern, in hypervigilance, you are so attuned to everyone else that you don't notice how you feel. And if you don't notice how you feel, you are creating dissonance between you and your soul's true essence. I feel like the work, the inner work, the real inner work that brings lasting peace is establishing coherence with self, with that true soul's essence that you are. And your soul's true essence is you. It's your divine creation. It's the individualized expression of you that exists across all time, through all space, in every dimension, is your soul's true essence. Yes, body form may change, but your soul's true essence is your true expression. The things that cause pain for us is when we separate ourselves from our soul's true expression. And the way that that happens is through hard things, trauma, extreme circumstances that felt extreme to you. And it doesn't have to be what someone else would call extreme, but it was extreme to you. And that is where you really must look. But it's very hard to see, like I said. So the conscious and unconscious part of your brain, the conscious part of your brain is like 5% of your brain's capacity. 95% is completely unconscious. You don't even know what's going on in there, yet it is running your life. It's running your feelings. It's running everything about you. That's why when I say do a pattern breakthrough, right, you have to start looking at the patterns. The only way you can start looking at a pattern is asking yourself that first question. What do I keep experiencing, doing, or not doing that's causing me pain, frustration, friction, suffering? What's pissing you off? What do you find yourself doing over and over when you know better? Quote unquote, know better. Because we find ourselves doing what we do, even though we know what we know. Willpower literally doesn't work. Hi, Alex. It's good to see you. So pattern breakthrough is necessary so that you can become more deeply connected with your soul's true expression. Your soul's true expression is where your intuition, it's your intuition. It's that feeling you get when you just know something's true for you. Do you know what that is? Do you know what I mean when I say that? I would think all of you here with me do. And that's why we have to find what we're believing that's bullshit so that we can reconnect with the part of us that made the decision. So in a pattern breakthrough, I do pattern breakthroughs. First one is on me. And we jump on a Zoom. I take you through a series of 12 questions. And we find one of the patterns, one of the unconscious patterns that has been destroying you. That makes you feel like, what the F is wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with you. You're just patterned. And you find yourself procrastinating, overthinking. Oh my God, that's such a huge one. Overthinking ourselves to death. Well, there was a part of you that decided you had to do it all right. You had to make the right choice, the right decision in order to be loved or in order to be safe. And that was made with child logic, but the problem is, did you ever really feel safe or loved? It doesn't work. But once you identify the pattern, and then I walk you through the series and we go find the origin event, like what event comes up for you. And this is the part of pattern breakthrough that I love doing because we identify the pattern right up at the top. We talk about the impact. We talk about how it makes you feel. We talk about how you feel when you're doing it, when you're procrastinating or when you're overthinking, so that you can really get into your body. We have to connect with our body, right? This whole thing is about reconnecting with our true self. Our body is the indicator that helps us know if what we're believing is aligned with our truth or not. If not, we feel terrible. Right? We have all the feels coming up. So as the pattern breakthrough works through, we go to the point where I ask you the question, I have you close your eyes, and I say, what early memory comes up for you linked to this? And what's amazing is that people's bodies and minds just pop it out. And once they see it, you can see the shift in the person because you can see their body shift. Sometimes they'll cry. And then we go in and connect with that part of them. And the thing that breaks the pattern is your connection to that part of yourself that's been suffering for a long, long time. You just didn't know that your overthinking was a symptom of a part of you that has felt completely unseen for all the years that you've been carrying this pattern. And that pattern was created by that young part of you that made a decision based on a traumatic experience. Of course you did. Of course I did. And then as you attune to that part of you and connect in with that part that's been suffering and has felt so deeply unseen, and that's what actually breaks the pattern. It's going in and witnessing that part of you and the feelings that you felt and really being seen. It's incredible to witness. And as you do that, it just disconnects that old pattern, and your body no longer has to behave the way it's been behaving because the vow's been exposed, right? The pattern and the decision that was made. And then you go in and you witness and you attune to that part of yourself. It's exquisite. So that's a very big part of the work that I do on this planet. Have been doing it for a very long time, making the unconscious conscious. And if you find yourself approval seeking, self sabotaging, being a perfectionist, being a workaholic, overthinking, comparing, having chronic guilt, chronic shame, let's do a pattern breakthrough. Send me a message and I'll send you my scheduler and you just find a time and day that works for you, and you and I jump on a Zoom and we'll do that. I would love to. And all of you that are here watching, thank you. In my business coaching call, I'm pushing everyone to start doing lives. And I'm like, my God, I haven't done a live forever. I promised I'd do one last week. Didn't get it done last week. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just going to go live, see how it is. Make sure it all works the same that it always did. Yeah, it works. And I can see that you have to stay on for a little while in order to start getting visibility. So for those of you that are here with me, thank you. For those of you that are watching after the fact, thank you. And any one of you that hasn't done a pattern breakthrough with me, let's do it. Outside of that, make sure you step outside and hear the birds sing and feel the sun on your face and know that you're not alone. You're not alone. You've got this. Have a beautiful day, everybody. We'll talk soon.